Hi everyone, welcome back to the Hallie B Experience. First and foremost, thank you guys so much for subscribing and liking and viewing and sharing the page and the videos. I truly appreciate the support. And so we're back. Hey guys! Couldn't start without that, right? Okay, so what are we talking about today at the Hallie B Experience? Today, we are going to go over 7 tips on how to choose a venue. And even if you don't necessarily select your venue based off of these 7 tips, I guess a better way to say this would be 7 tips to use when reviewing or viewing venues. So we are going to dive right in. Number 1, how to choose a wedding venue. First things first, when you schedule that appointment, you want a list of questions to ask up front so that you don't view this gorgeous property and then at the end of it, you're let down because it didn't meet one of your boxes, right? So our first tip would be to check the date availability and the maximum capacity of that venue. I say ask these questions out of the gate because sometimes, most of the time, the number one thing that's racing through our mind is how much this place cost and if it fits within our budget. But what if it fits within your budget, but it doesn't fit within your date? And even if your date is a little flexible, what if it's not available? Or what if a portion of the venue, because sometimes you may get a venue and you use one area for your ceremony and another for the reception, and they may not both be available at the same time. So you do want to be sure to first and foremost check the date availability as well as the capacity, because you don't want your guest list to not be able to be accommodated due to spacing. And you don't want your reception, oh God, you don't want a cramped reception. You don't want it to be hot and just uncomfortable. We don't want those problems. So definitely check your date and capacity, sorry. The second thing that we'll check would be the venue cost, because obviously we don't want to fall in love with a beautiful place. It has our date, it can fit our guest list, but then we can't afford it, or it's not within our budget, right? So we want to check the venue cost. But in checking your venue cost, I will also tell you that you want to find out about any liability insurance that you may need. You, as the bride and groom, may not need liability insurance, but for your vendors, a lot of times a venue will say your DJ must have liability insurance. So you want to be mindful of those things, because if you are not booking a vendor or a DJ that's typically what they do, and it's maybe like a family friend that kind of DJs on the side, that person may not have liability insurance. So that's definitely something that you want to consider when selecting your venue as well as selecting your vendors. So it's kind of like having the education and the knowledge of it up front, so that when you move forward with booking vendors, you can let them know if they need those liability insurance due to the venue. And if they don't have them, they have the time to get them. And if they're not willing to get them, then you have the ability to, move on to another vendor. The next thing you want to know, or a third tip, should we say, is what is included in your venue cost. Sometimes you may run into a venue where your linens are included, your centerpieces are included. You may find a venue that offers and includes catering. Most venues are going to include your tables and chairs, but you want to ask, just because you want to have all of your specifics. Another really big one for a venue that I know for some people it can make or break, you want to find out about your parking and what is included in terms of parking. Is there self-parking or is it valet? Do I have to pay additional for valet, or is that included? And if it's included, is there a max on it? How long do I have valet? Will they just be there for the beginning of the wedding and then people have to get their own cars at the end of the night? Like, we need to know everything that there is to know about parking, because that's going to be really beneficial when sharing information on your website to your guests, as well as when you're sending out invitations, and you may include any notes or cards about accommodations and things like that. Another good thing that you want to find out if it is included in your venue cost is if they do basic uplighting. Some venues do, some venues don't. So you want to ask those questions. In addition to finding out about what's included, you want to find out if anything can be substituted or if anything can be upgraded. For example, with the basic uplighting, that may be included, but for an additional $100 or $200, you could get a variety of colors or a different lighting package with your initials, like a monogram on the wall or floor of wherever you choose. So you do want to ask about subs and upgrades. The fourth question you want to be sure to ask when choosing the perfect venue would be if that venue works on a preferred vendor list. Preferred vendor list meaning they have a binder or piece of paper with about 4 to 5 caterers, and you cannot bring outside catering into their venue. You have to use someone from this list. You may even find sometimes that a venue will allow you to bring outside catering, but they do not allow you to bring an outside bar. So these are questions that you want to ask. If they tell you that they have a vendor for the bar and you cannot use an outside bar service, get the specifics, because when you use a in-house bar majority of the time with a venue, if your alcohol is not consumed during your event, you will not be refunded for that alcohol, and you will not walk out of the door with the unused alcohol. So you want to definitely have your guest count 100% down so that your liquor is the consumption and your guest count match. If you do overbuy, you may want to have your DJ announce that the bar is staying open a bit longer, but definitely ask the question about the bar with being a preferred vendor. Ask about their policies in terms of refund if all of your alcohol is not consumed, and what they can do about that. But I have seen weddings where at the end of the night, there's boxes and boxes of alcohol that was not consumed, and the bride and groom were not able to get that money back or the alcohol. The fifth tip would be your time blocks. So typically a venue is going to offer a 12-hour time block, meaning you have the space for 12 hours, and that is your setup, your ceremony, your reception, and your breakdown. So you would need to schedule your entire day within that 12-hour block. For this reason, a lot of times people opt to get dressed at a hotel and kind of have their makeup and everything done by the time they arrive at the venue to buy themselves more time on their ceremony and reception. But if you do have a venue that you can possibly purchase additional time, I would strongly suggest finding out what their time blocks are. The sixth tip in choosing your venue would be to find out everything you can about your decor restrictions. If you are able to have open flames, if you're able to have confetti, if you're able to have a balloon release for your exit. You want to know all of these things up front, because I would hate for you to fall in love with something on Pinterest or talk to your coordinator and fall in love with an idea, and then you get to this venue and they don't allow those types of things. So you want to discuss your decor restrictions up front before signing any contracts. And your seventh question on your list when choosing a venue would be finding out about any cloakrooms, bridal suites, and groom suites. Even if you are not getting dressed at the venue, you always want to have a space to hold your things or to freshen up in between the ceremony and the reception, and even during the reception. You may need to, store away purses and things like that. So you want to have a space for that. And a lot of times your groom and groomsmen will probably get dressed at the venue if the bride and her bridal party are getting dressed elsewhere. Sometimes it's just an option, so you do want to find out about those things. I know I went kind of quickly through those tips, so just to recap, when choosing your venue, the 7 tips that you want to be sure you cross off of your list before signing any contracts would be: 1, checking the date availability and the maximum capacity; 2, the venue cost and any liability insurance requirements; 3, what is included in that venue cost as far as parking, tables, chairs, linens, centerpieces, catering, the whole 9. Ask all the questions. Are there any upgrades available? Are there any substitutions that can be made? The 4th thing is that you want to find out about a preferred vendor list. Really heavy on the preferred when it comes to your bar, because there are additional restrictions that you may not be aware of going into it. 5, you want to know about your time blocks. How long do I have the venue? Do I have a 12-hour day, or am I able to purchase additional hours? 6, decor restrictions. Can we have candles with open flames other than the unity candle? Because the venue will still allow you to have a unity candle It's just the decorations is what they usually restrict when it comes to open flames. Can I have confetti? Can I do a balloon release? And the 7th tip is you want to find out about any cloakrooms for your guests, bridal suites, and groom suites for preparations. I hope that you've enjoyed these 7 tips. If I went too fast, even in the recap, you can find those tips on our website at oneaccordweddings.com in the blog section. They're all nice and pretty for you with pictures, so that you can go back and kind of refresh yourself before you go and visit a venue. You can also send us an email at oneaccordweddings@yahoo.com. I'm happy to answer any questions and assist in any way that I possibly can. So, now that we've gotten through today's video and tips on choosing the perfect venue, I just want to do a really, really quick, review sort of on what I threw in the bag this week. Okay, y'all. So I ordered a body polish from Clearly Carla, and she threw this Shea body butter in. So I just got these items in the mail, and I have not used the body polish just yet, so I will report back on that. But this body butter, oh my god, I did not order it, and I am already about to go and order it. It smells amazing, but it goes on even better. So you all have seen my hands this entire video, but when I rub this on, look at my hands, just lathered up, took the ash right away, and my hands smell great. So again, that is Clearly Carla. This is her card. I don't know if you can see that well. Sorry, guys. I will tag her in my video so that you can check out her Instagram. Her Instagram is Clearly Carla, or clearlycarla.com. And she offers crystals and body butters and body polishes, and they all smell great. And this body butter feels amazing. And I will report back on the body polish. So as always, subscribe, like, turn on your post notifications, and share the videos. Leave me some comments and let me know what you want to see a video about. I am open to holding other conversations outside of event planning. Just let me know what it is that you might have an interest in. And I will see you all next time. Bye.